All right. This is Kyle. I am gonna record a video today showing you guys how to decide where to post. And I'm gonna basically just go over a couple of different strategies, and it's gonna evolve. It's gonna change on how you approach, where you want to post. But just to give you some really basic starting points, you should have all been emailed a big list of all the zip codes that are available on Craigslist. And I try to keep it up to date and accurate, but you might just want to double check some of those zip codes because sometimes things change or the Craigslist areas change and different things like that. But really, all it comes down to is, I guess I'll say it can be really overwhelming deciding where to post. So do not get too caught up in, trying to figure out just the perfect place to post. There's so many different places. There's so many options of, what state, what part of the state, Craigslist, Facebook. At the end of the day, the thing that matters the most is that you post a lot. And, you can't predict where the best place to post is. We can give you some guidance on where better areas and regions to post are. But at the end of the day, we make sales all over the place. So I will say, in general, very general, right now, anywhere east of the Mississippi is going to be an awesome place to post. There's some other states in the west that are still really good. And it's kind of fluctuates, and there's ebbs and flows to pricing, so things can change a little bit. But, in the west, California is just a huge state, a huge economy. There's always a need. The very northern part of California, I'm not going to say don't post there, but the whole midsection of California from Sacramento down to San Diego is going to be, once you get farther on the east side of California, it's not quite as good. So the whole mid and western section of California is awesome. El Paso and around El Paso can be great. Texas can be really good. The whole state of Texas, especially around Houston and the eastern half of Texas, especially. Nebraska can be really good. Some of the states that are a little tougher are like Montana and South, North Dakota, Kansas. Some of those Midwestern states, just because they're so far from any depots. But so eastern half of the United States, just go crazy. Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, the whole Northeast, all around the Great Lakes. The whole eastern coast states. All that's great. So deciding where to post, to break it down a little bit more, if you guys go into your training guide that I would have sent you, and I've got a little section here. Man, I thought I did. How to decide where to post. So this is a little bit out of order. So deciding where to post, check with your trainer, say, hey, where's good right now? Do we have any promotions right now? Is there anything going on, that I should consider when posting? And from there, what I usually like to do just to start is to pick a state and just, start one state at a time. And, go to that state and just get an idea. So I would have sent you guys a zip code list, and it should show pretty much all the areas available to post in Craigslist. And you can kind of use that as a guide to organize where you might post on Facebook as well, because Craigslist kind of sections out each state by itself. Facebook, if you're going to post on Facebook Marketplace, is like an open book. You can post anywhere. There's not really any restrictions. So to give you an example, if you were to look at, let's just say, North Carolina. Where's North Carolina at here? So you've got North Carolina broken up into these, 10, 12 different areas here. And what you would want to do is you say, okay, here's a list of these areas. What you need to post is you need a zip code and you need to find a price. So you need a zip code for each of these. That should be in that zip code list that I gave you. But if you're going to post 5 ads, you want to kind of look and say, okay, which of these do I want to post 5 ads in? Which of these areas? Because I don't want, I don't know, you can do it different ways. You might not want all your posts clumped in one little section of the state. So what you can do is you can just go to Google and go to Google Maps and pull up North Carolina, and just kind of get an idea and orient yourself on where some of these places are. Don't spend too much time with this. There's no way to guess where just the right perfect place to post is. So, just get a basic game plan. Make sure that you're kind of posting in an area. Check with your trainer, like I said. Make sure that you're kind of posting in an area that's good, but don't overthink it from there. Say, you know what? I know North Carolina kicks butt for posting, so I'm going to just post there, and then tomorrow I'm going to post more. I'm going to post tomorrow in Tennessee, and I'm going to post in Georgia. Then I'm going to post in Alabama, and on from there. And then I might come back and post in 5 other places in North Carolina. But the thing is just building up those posts over time. Because that's the thing is over your first 30 days, you're kind of building up that, all the posts that you have out there. And the more posts you have out there, and those are staying open for, a period of time, whether it's 30 days on Craigslist or even longer on Facebook. I think Facebook, I don't know, but I think Facebook posts just kind of stay up indefinitely. You post 5 ads and you've got exposure to just those areas that you posted the 5 ads in. But then over 2 weeks' time, you've posted 5 ads every day. You've gotten, 15 times that exposure, 15 times the eyeballs seeing your ads. And when you remember what we talked about in the orientation, it's all about getting the most people to see your ads, because you'll start searching and looking, and there's a lot of ads out there. So you've got to get your ads out there so people are seeing your ads versus the other guys and calling you instead of other people. Because the name of the game is post ads, get people to call you, invoice those people and follow up and close the sales. So the more sales you want to close, you just back that into the more ads you got to post. So more ads equals more sales every time, as long as you're following up and keeping track of people and not just letting them slip through the cracks. And we'll get more into how to do that as well. So name of the game is just post a lot. Everything else will fall into place. And the more you post, the more you'll get an idea of what works, what doesn't work, what you like and what you don't like. That's just kind of a guide on how to choose where to post. Don't overthink it. Choose a good area. Get an idea of what your options are in a state to post in. And, the way I did it is I would pick a state and I would pick some areas that were kind of spread out geographically across the state. So I don't want all my posts to be in this little section of North Carolina. But that's not to say that's even a bad thing. If that's a really densely populated area, that might work. What I would do is I picked Asheville, I picked Winston-Salem, I picked Raleigh, I picked Fayetteville, and maybe Greenville. Those are spread out across the state in a pretty wide geographic area. And, I feel like I might be able to get a little more exposure that way. And then if you move on to some other states, you might come back and post in, Hickory and Charlotte and, Rockmount and maybe Wilmington to give you, a different area. So it's just all about, just think about how people search for ads and how you're going to get the most exposure in an area. How are you going to get the most eyeballs on your ads to call you versus calling somebody else? And then just take a lot of action, post a lot of ads, and everything will fall into place from there. So that's kind of what my suggestions would be on posting ads. Now, to get into it a little more, not just on where to post, but I would make a plan. I would kind of say, okay, what's maybe 10 or 20 states that I know are pretty solid. I can check with my trainer and they can give me a list of, maybe 20 states to start on and just hit them hard, or 10 states and just hit them hard, and then make a plan so you don't have to decide every day. Because trying to go in and decide every day, where to post, it's just such a thing. For me, at least, I can just get so in my head and just think and overthink it and try to find just the right place to post, where it's better just to pick some states and just say, this is going to be where I'm going to post this week. So you've got your plan, you've made a plan on where you're going to post, and you can kind of say, okay, this is how many sales I want to make, and based on some reasonable numbers, these are how many ads I'm going to have to post to make that much in sales. And I'll tell you on Craigslist, a fairly low number for me on how many sales I get per how many ads I post is like 5%. So if I post 20 ads, I'm going to get a sale, almost guaranteed. Some places are going to be a lot higher. A few weird oddball places might be lower, but if I'm posting a lot of ads and I'm spreading that risk a little bit thin, if that makes sense, the more ads that I post in the more places, the better that average is going to be. Where if I put all my eggs in one basket and it's the wrong basket, I'm going to be more likely to be in trouble. So make a plan, eliminate that, having to decide every day where you're going to post, and then you can just work that plan that you made and just work it and not even think about it and just knock it out. And then the more you can do that, the more you get comfortable with it, and you'll make a few sales, and then you can track where you post, and you can track where you make sales. So if you keep a little spreadsheet, you don't have to do this. You can even go back afterwards and pretty easily do this, every couple of weeks. But you can track, where did I post? Where did I make sales? There's some other variables that can skew things. Maybe we were really good in pricing out of a depot and now we're not. So those things aren't always 100% consistent, but they can be fairly helpful to say, I can make my business more predictable by tracking how many ads I post and how many sales I get out of each of those ads. So read through this little guide here and don't overthink it. Just make a plan, check with your trainer to make sure it's a good plan, and then just work that plan. Don't think about it, don't analyze it, just make the plan and work the plan. And then every once in a while, poke your head up, see how things are doing, track your numbers, check with your trainer, and adjust from there. But first things first, just get those ads out, post the ads, quit listening to me, go post some ads, and I'll put some other videos up and show you guys how to post on Craigslist, how to post on Facebook, how to get pricing, and do all that stuff as well. So I will see you in the next video. You should still be on day one training, so keep going until you've got your ads posted, and get that rest of that homework done for day one training.